Information has come out about the Skripal case that casts doubt on the official story by the UK government. Reports also show that a D-notice has been placed on the subject, banning journalists from reporting on the case any further. Have you noticed that the reporting of the Skripal poisoning case has just mysteriously disappeared from the British media? Now, according to a former British ambassador, Craig Murray, who quotes Clive Ponting, another former senior civil servant, he suspects that the British government has issued a D-notice on the matter which forbids the British media from being able to discuss the matter. Murray also points to a tweet by Channel 4 correspondent Alex Thompson from March 12, in which Thompson mentions a D-notice specifically related to Mr. Skripal's MI6 handler. The D-notice attempt Thompson mentioned was too late, as some media had already reported the name of Skripal's MI6 handler. Now, the name of that person was Pablo Miller. Now, he's a British MI6 agent who actually recruited Skripal. Now, the former MI6 agent Christopher Steele is also involved in this case. Now, after Skripal was released from Russian custody as a part of the spy exchange agreement that was made, he was placed under his command. Now, this man, Christopher Steele, is also tied up with these events. Both Christopher Steele and Pablo Miller worked for Orbis Business Intelligence, which created the dirty dossier about Donald Trump. Is there a connection between the dirty dossier and the Skripal affair? Now, this whistleblower, Clive Ponting, he suspects that the Skripal case was actually an inside job in order to keep Mr. Skripal from saying anything to the public. Now, here's what he said according to Murray. If Sergei Skripal was also involved in the Golden Shower dossier, then elements in the US would have a reason to act as well. The whole incident was an inside job, not to kill him, hence the use of BZ, but to give him a warning and a punishment. The whole thing is being treated as though the authorities know exactly what went on, but have to cover it up. I meant to add that the policeman who just happened to be around was almost certainly the special branch minder who was keeping Yulia under surveillance. The media are not allowed to mention the existence of a D-notice. Now, this is all very suspicious and certainly does link to the idea that perhaps the UK government is behind the man's poisoning after all. Now, we should also note that some of the information related to the poisoning is very clearly being censored. Journalist Dilyana Gaitanzyev made a report on April 26 that showed that the Skripals were allegedly exposed to the drug fentanyl, not Novichok nerve agent, according to information obtained from the UK Clinical Services Journal. The Clinical Services Journal piece Gaitanzyev had found is from March 5, 2018, the day after the Skripal incident in Salisbury. In its original version, it read, Salisbury District Hospital declared a major incident on Monday, the 5th of March, after 2 patients were exposed to an opioid. It followed an incident hours earlier in which a man and a woman were exposed to the drug fentanyl in the city center. The opioid is 10,000 times stronger than heroin. Now, on April 27th, after the tweet was made, the Skripals were exposed to fentanyl, not Novichok. After I published this information yesterday, on the 26th, the Clinical Services Journal redacted it today. All references to fentanyl as the cause of the Skripal illness in a March 5th article has been removed between April 26 and April 27. Archive.org has the original version as collected on April 26th. Suspiciously, the Wiltshire police statement, which was the very first police statement on the Skripal case, has disappeared. It is currently listed as currently unavailable. Now, the British press has been completely dead silent on the Skripal case for quite some time now. Craig Murray is another former civil servant that the UK government gave an order to not speak about the case. They also suspect that the case is possibly related to that dirty dossier that was made against Donald Trump, that was paid for by the Democratic National Convention. You know, the one that claims there's a P-tape, etc. Now, it's also being accused that perhaps the Clinton campaign ordered up the one that they ordered up to use is possibly linked to Skripal in some case, and that Skripal possibly was talking about saying something, or maybe he was considering in private conversation about speaking up about it, and maybe even talking about it, and even exposing that the whole thing was fake to begin with. It's not understandable why the British government would suddenly give a notice to silence everything that's going on about the Skripal case if it is as simple as they claim, that merely it was Russia who carried out the poisoning of the man. Now, if this was just to silence him or to get back at him for having been a part, or allegedly being part of the dossier, then wouldn't they just say that? Oh, Russia did this because they want to punish him for having done that whole dossier. But instead, they've decided to issue a D notice and keep everything quiet about this, which leads me to suspect, and possibly a lot of other people too, that there's something more here going on that the UK government is not talking about. Now, why is no investigation into the public media allowed? Where is Yulia Skripal? And what is the health status of Sergei Skripal? Why have they been silenced? There's still a lot of questions that have not been answered as a result of this incident, and a lot of information is very clearly being covered up by the UK government, which seems to have issued that D notice. I think it might be some time before we get the full story about what happened. I think with the information that has been made available now, it seems like the UK government is in fact trying to keep Skripal silent about something. What that is, we don't know, but it looks like it may have some kind of link to the dirty dossier that was made about Trump that was paid for by the Democratic National Committee. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.